Howdy folks, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plaster, and today I want to show you guys something kind of simple, but it's pretty common too. You see this finish here? This is a real fine finish. Now you see this finish, this is the existing. The existing is real heavy, so the problem with here is it's way too fine. That's one thing. You can't see the other thing that's wrong, but I'll point it out. Okay, we take a 2x4 and we put it here. Now notice, hello guys, this is really hollow, so we want to fill that up. So what we're going to do is show you how we do that. Now I'm going to take some mud that Jay made, and we may not have all the mud we need, but I'm just going to prove a point, guys. We want to fill this up here, and this sand here is a heavier sand. What you generally want to do, guys, if you're going to go over a scratch finish or a brown, wet it. If you don't hydrate it, guess what? It won't adhere. I was getting ready to come to work today. I was walking out of the house and I hit my computer and somebody said, "Hey man, can you help me out?" And he explained that he did a scratch coat and he did a brown coat, and then the color coat all came off. Well, the color coat came off because he did not do the hydration stuff. I just wet it, so he put the color coat on a brown coat that was not hydrated. And if it's not hydrated, guys, you put a dry mud on. If I were to put this dry mud on this dry mud, it's just going to flake off. So you always got to hydrate that. Okay, I'm trying to see here if I have enough stucco in that bucket, but I'll cross that bridge in a minute. Now what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just filling this side up. I'm going to take all the mud that we have here, and I think Jay's going to have to mix up a little bit, but you guys don't have to watch that because it won't show. Okay, so now I'm filling this out to where it needs to be. There's that. Then there's this side. And guys, I get a lot of calls and people say, "Kirk, how come you wear a white shirt? What's up with that?" I'll tell you what's up with that, guys. You see this stucco? Stucco has lye in it. L-Y-E. Now lye will eat a hole through a floor. So what happens if this lye gets all over my arms? They burn. I'll get rashes. It'll be like a time when I was getting ready to go party and I was younger, and I went to charge my battery because it was low. That's all the mud we got. But getting back to that story before I forget it, Jay's going to mix me up some more, and I'm going to finish doing this. I went to mix up a battery. That battery, I hit it. I went to go someplace. It was Friday night, and I was all dressed up. I was like 25 years old. I touched the battery cable, and it exploded. Lye does the same thing. You won't see me with a pair of pants without a hole here. Now, you girls, you go to the stores, and you pay a lot more for that. All you got to do is work stucco. If I kneel in this stucco one time, the next day I'll have holes in my pants. That's why I wear these long shirts, guys. If stucco gets on your shirt, it just beats you up. Anyway, Jay's going to mix me up some more mud, and we'll continue. All right, guys. We mixed up some more. We got a little beat up. That happens. So right here, I'm putting a little bit of water because we have a new mix here. So I don't want this to set on me just because I'm busy rambling on. So we put a little bit more water here. If that joint dries up, it's not good. Okay, so Jay just mixed this up here. And we're doing a whole bunch of windows on this house. Fixing a few boo-boos by people. All right, so I still got to tie this little bottom in to get my joint. And notice I wet it. Go hard, guys. Wet it. Get that joint out. I'm getting that joint out. Okay. We get that joint out right there. And when you got a joint, guys, you want to kind of push it in hard right there. Okay. Boom. Boom. All right. So now just got the top left to do. And again, note that it's about, oh, that's a little bit of a stretch for me, but I can handle it. I'm good. I'm good. Dave just offering me the ladder, but the advantage of being tall. Now what I'm doing is I'm putting that extra amount on it, going on the old tiptoes, and right where I get this joint hard, guys. That's got to go hard. This, you don't have to use a lot of strength, but where you got that joint, a lot of strength, guys. This is how we do it. You guys do it whatever way you want. And I was looking at all the stuff that the previous guy used, and he did everything right except for matching the finish. He put quick creek right here, meaning the stucco that's over this original painted surface is going to adhere to that painted surface. Otherwise, we'd have to scrape that off. Anyway, my last hawkful here. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you guys the difficult part. Difficult part is that joint. You want, see, I'm going really hard on the joint. The perimeter. Perimeter, guys. Now, because we're in hot weather, let's see. Hot weather. Okay, I'll show you how stiff this is. Oh, that top coat is okay, but this is stiff right here. Who's the best? You are. Anyhow, let me show you guys how we feather this in. And this is the fault of the last guy was just that. He didn't use the right sand. You got to have material knowledge, guys. This is very heavy sand, and they put a lot of float mark. This is a float. You can call it a sponge, but it brings the sand or aggregate out. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this tape first while the sponge is clean. Now I'm going to take it right here, straight shot, come down, and feather that joint in. Feather it in. Feather it in a little bit better than what they've got. Now you got to keep dipping your sponge float into the water because the sponge float gets full of sand. The nature of it, guys. Nothing anybody can do about that. So when it gets full, note, well, we're not showing you guys how to do it. We're showing you how we do it. So the idea is we want to bring out the heavier sand. So we're using a heavier sand. These guys used too fine a sand. It won't match this. So when it's painted, the fellow who owns the place, homeowners are going to say, hey, thanks guys, but that sucks. Redo it. Don't you guys ever do this. Okay, so now I'm tall enough to get this joint. Now, I've had to flip the float just now, the sponge float. I flipped it because I want water. I want to bring this joint, I want to bring the new into the existing, so I need water. I flipped it again because the water starts to go through the float. And over here, I'm just doing this exact same thing. Now here doesn't require that much skill. And so what we do is, now I look at this and I think, okay, boom, hit it here. And now I've matched the finish and I've matched the depth. Two important things, guys. Got to have material knowledge. If you just have the skill to put the window in, that's good. What would you rather do? Have a leaking window or a texture that don't match? That's a trick question, guys. Take the stucco that doesn't match. Nobody wants a leaking window. Okay, I'm cleaning this. And I'm looking at everything. I'm thinking, wow, what a mess. We didn't do that. We're just here to do the top. Okay, now that I have a clean float, I'm going to just go over it one more time. And now what I'm doing is I'm really looking at this. I can see these float marks. They're going this way, and they're heavy. So I'm taking that and going heavy. I'm putting float marks in it. If it was a dash, I want to remove all the float marks or the sponge marks. Now I'm looking here. I can see. I can see it. The camera may not show it, but I can see it. The idea is to feather the new into the existing. And that's about a wrap right there. So the only thing a fellow like me got to do now is remove the gloves and risk getting lye on the fingers. I told you earlier that lye will beat you up, guys. It'll make your hands sore. It'll rip the skin right off. You'll end up like me 30 years ago where I had to put my Vaseline on my hand, sandwich bags over because I moved my joints and they all bled. Anyway, I'm going to clean this track right here, and we're going to go. We have a lot more windows to go, but we thought we'd show you one. My name is Kirk. Jason's on the camera. We thank you guys for watching, and as usual, see you on the next one.
All right, folks, we want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoy the videos that we put out, please like and subscribe so that we can keep making these videos for everybody. And as always, from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.